Hello, and welcome to Bitches with Beards. And on today's episode, I asked a question. If the Academy is only now insisting that voters have seen all the movies, then, what the fuck?
And as they say, life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone.
We're the podcast that attempts to break down culture with all the elegance of two coastal grandmas.
But in truth, we're just a couple of bitches with beards.
I'm Max.
And I'm Daniel.
And we're live in a Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
And we both have opinions, so let's get this party started.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for doing a Thursday, Daniel.
Oh, you're welcome. It's more that I...
Did surprise you a bit. Well,
Surprised.
I do know that I'd mentioned about doing it Thursday because this weekend is my birthday.
Right.
And I was like, well, if we do Friday, it kind of locks us into Friday.
Yeah.
I am seeing Revenge of the Sith. I could not get the hubs. We decided not to do it in the day on Saturday because that's just going to cause stuff, and it's just going to, and it ends.
Right.
The earliest showing still ends too late, if that makes.
It does.
And he's working till 7, so I said, you know what? I'm going to get the 4:20 showing of Revenge of the Sith. It's booked up.
Oh.
Yeah, they're only doing it a weekend, so I'm going to do that
Tomorrow?
tomorrow,
Oh,
and then
very nice.
he'll be done, and then we're going to go and get dinner.
Ooh.
I think that is the plan. Is that, and then I think, and I'll have to let you know, Saturday. I think afternoon we're going to all start converging. Maybe do something Saturday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Matinee Idol's in town, and Alex and Sarah are coming in from Philly.
Oh, yeah.
But they've got the babes with them, so you'll get to see that. But so we're going to do something. Probably about so you come over. Anyway, discussing birthday plans. That's not what we're here for.
No.
Just to say thank you for doing this early. Do you want a couple of cute bug stories before we begin?
Do you want some bug stories?
Yeah, because it's been a shit week and we've got fucking news, haven't we? Jesus Christ, the
gosh.
dramas. So I took him out. I think it was what's day today? Thursday, so it was Tuesday morning, and he was walking in, and this lady walked past, and he stopped, and she looked back and went, "Oh my god!" Because basically Bug was standing there giving her the saddest look, and I kept walking Bug, and she had to dive off, and I kept walking Bug. And then as I walked back round, because he doesn't go for a long loop, poor little thing.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, can I say hi now?" And I, "Oh, it's you." And he got his scratches in. But yes, she goes, "I've never seen a sad look on a dog." And I know. He goes, "No, he does like to play the heartstrings." And then that night I'm sure people might, anyone wants to be angry, but we do take him out without a lead in the evenings because he doesn't really, apart from the fact he has discovered pigeons and he can do a bolt, he is a slow dog.
A very slow dog.
So we can open the gate and he goes to a little bank outside ours. And as I was walking, he peed. I went back in. I turned around. He was just standing right in the middle of the sidewalk. I went, "What are you waiting for, Bug?" And of course, this lovely lady, another lovely lady appears, and she goes, "I think he wants to say hi." I said, "I think he does. He's very friendly."
Oh.
So Bug has been flirting up a storm.
My.
All week. Talking of flirting up a storm, Daniel, how's your week been?
Well, my love life has been non-existent.
Is it still dead in DC?
Oh, it's still dead and awkward in DC. I matched with 4 different individuals on Hinge, so I feel obliged to have conversations with these people. It's going nowhere. It's very slow conversation. It's an answer here, 2 days later, an answer there, and I'm like, this is not a conversation.
No, this is.
Yeah.
I still think the rule, as fickle as it is, and it's one that I wish that I'd had with a certain person who lived in Clapham, was that this is the time they should be the most excited to speak to you, so
Absolutely.
it only goes downhill from here.
Absolutely. Which is definitely the role that I'm taking, where
Yeah.
I'm just you can't put into this, I shall not put into this. There we go.
And do you have a good sense of when someone's just not engaging in the conversation?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain whenever they're not engaging. One individual, we were having a conversation on that particular app, and then we exchanged phone numbers, and then it just sort of fickled. The conversation lasted for about a day, and then it sort of fickled, and I'd asked a follow-up question about what they were doing on Saturday night, blah blah blah, and it just didn't really. I was like, okay, you're more interested in whomever you went out with on Saturday night, which I don't blame you. Good for you. but I'm not going to like waste my time.
Yeah.
That's sort of the approach that I'm taking right now of like, good for you. I'm not wasting my time. Like I will find greener pastures, and not even greener pastures, just more interesting people.
Exactly.
So it's still very much that here in DC.
I'm sorry. That's really...
Oh, it's fine. It's also, for some reason, there has been an influx of individuals being like, I like guys who like CrossFit, and I do it 5 times a week, and I'm like, this is not going to work out. This is not going to work out at all. And then they're like, they'll send like a response being like, hey, let's chat. And I'm like, I can already tell you that we're not going to be a match. Like, 2 different trajectories here. Like, sorry. Like, not that I'm not for, trying new things with new people, but it's like someone who is like, I do meal prep on Sundays and I CrossFit 5 times a week. I'm like, you are not my match.
It's great. So you've got like, this is the thing that's coming up a lot with people, and I hear from like celebrities like Whoopi Goldberg talking about it. Someone said to her, would you be interested in having, getting married again? And she goes, I don't want anyone in my house.
Yeah.
And this is and I would look at this thing a while back and say, I said it about myself, is that I don't want to be single so long that I don't know how to be in a couple.
Right.
But at the same time, I think that we're redefining what it means to be a couple, because I have a husband who our lives are very intertwined and supportive of each other. But that's not to say, I do say sometimes to people that, oh my God, they're open in their relationship, they might as well not be together. But at the same time, there is a way now of people, I think people like you who have a career and a life, that you're not going to say, like put in a box just because you're in a couple. It is going to redefine what it means to be going through something together.
Right.
But at the same time if someone said, hey, like, I CrossFit 5 days a week, I'm kind of looking for someone that's also, either out, like into their fitness, or they're looking at, they're going to be happy that I'm doing my own thing. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But when you're looking for someone that's kind of saying, hey, I'm looking for basically someone with the same interests as me, that's not very interesting.
No, it gets very boring very quickly. But then you also do have to realize that you should have different interests, but the interest should, to some degree, be semi-compatible, too. Like, it's a fine line in that tightrope that you're walking of, like, it's different enough, but not the same, type situation.
Well, see, like me and the Hubs is like, he's gone back to the gym. He's really been doing well the last few months at the gym, but, he'll tend to go in the evenings because of his work. And, I'll usually, half time I'm usually finishing stuff off, but, we have stuff that keeps us occupied while the other's doing their thing, and then sometimes I'll do this, and how many times have we been recording and he'll come in and go, I've just got chatting to someone on Bumble, I'm going to go get a drink. But I don't know, there is that complete and utter need to marry your twin that I'm just like, well, I feel that's a sort of a lack of faith in your own self, really, isn't it?
True, but and I also, and not to go off that tangent by any means, but like, I also don't want to be in a relationship.
Tangent, as far as I know, we don't even have culture this week.
I was going to say, I don't think we do. Anyways, I also don't want to be in a relationship where I feel like my responsibility is to entertain that person.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need you to be a separate person, at least enough that you can preoccupy your time. My job is not to be the monkey that, is dancing on a tricycle. Like, sorry.
and that's something me and the Hubs have had to say to each other. And I've said to him especially, he's a lot more social. And being up my birthday again is that, this weekend, I really don't know what to do. We're trying to think of something to do on Saturday afternoon. And he's like, you got no idea? I said, babe, my idea of a good time is going to cinema on my own, because I don't worry about the other person getting bored. Going for a run on my own, so I don't have to worry about the other person.
Right.
Or reading no one else on your own. I'm a very much I don't really have a group activity that's in the hobby bank, and well, maybe thank you for that.
Toot toot.
Toot toot. Here comes Susie toot. Beep beep. But no, he's actually, there are times I've stressed about it, and now we've come through, especially COVID, where there was that real need.
Yeah.
And he'll say to me, what you want to do on Saturday? I said, actually, I would like till midday just to work on the podcast and get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, great. He might go down, like he's down tonight doing the front yard.
Mm-hmm.
So you find a way of asking for that time and saying, no,
Yeah.
I'm not here to entertain you.
Mm-hmm.
But it is. Yeah, that person sounds just that little bit too.
Yeah, it was one of these. I was just like, there's a reason why I didn't swipe on your profile. I'm glad that he swiped on mine, but I'm just like, there was a reason why.
Did he try and engage after you said to him? Were you honest and said that I'm not a CrossFit guy?
I was very honest and very polite and saying, look, I'm not a CrossFit person. I'm not a meal prep person either. Like, and the fact that you have highlighted this, I think, twice on his profile, I'm like, means that this is a priority to you, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like, it seems to be a driving factor, and I don't think that I'm on the same bus as you are. Like, it's...
When did meal prep become this big fucking thing?
I don't know. It's like, the prompt was, tell us something interesting, or how would you spend a Sunday afternoon? And it's like, well, I go to do CrossFit 5 times per week, so, maybe one time's that, and then it has to be meal prep in the afternoons. And I'm like...
Why?
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Get up early and do it.
I'm like, great Sunday right there. Like,
that's boring. And I had this whole thing. So this is something that I hated growing up. Because when you're a kid, you are more regimented. We had quite, I say regimented sounds horrible, but Sunday was especially in winter,
there was a little bit more structure.
Like structure. I never did homework on a Sunday. I was always the geek that had it done.
Yeah.
But Sundays were kind of a bit of a lost day. Friday night was always fun, pizza, and then Saturdays were Saturdays, and Sunday was always like the week prep. And I can't do that. I don't want to do that anymore.
I refuse to.
I do like a quiet Sunday evening. I'm not going to lie. I like to not, and that's especially since they're not drinking. But we have friends who are very much in a, I triage emails or I meal prep, and I'm like, no, you only get 2 days of a weekend.
Yeah.
Like,
savor them.
Triaging emails is what you do to wake your brain up on a Monday morning because it's a productive yet pretty simple task.
Yeah.
I get it I do get with an element of meal prepping that people, they want to have their lunches for the week. Mm-hmm. Get up and do it for fucking coffee. If you're just going to do chicken and broccoli and a bit of sweet potato, that was a Hub's lunch.
No, but
fucking get up, do it with a cup of coffee, and put some shit TV on the device that dare not speak its name.
Right.
I'll do what my husband does. He goes and buys a family tray of chicken, asparagus, and sweet potato, which has 5 portions in it, and that's his fucking lunch for the week.
And it's a healthy lunch.
And it costs about $20 in it, which for
it's
5
cheaper.
people is so cheap.
Yeah, it's much cheaper.
I think it's about 25, and it's for $5 a day is his lunch sorted.
Yeah.
But this meal prep isn't a real thing. Making soup, make fucking soup, or I don't know, make a healthy dinner and make a little bit too much and have a dinner next day. But don't say like you're fucking saving the world of meal prep.
Well, and not to keep harping on like these profiles of these guys, but there was a guy who was like 48 that I matched with.
Oh, honey, I'm at this point in time where our culture might just be you flicking through the profiles and reading them out to me.
No, and that's fine. Anyways, 48, and he literally said that a goal for this year was that he wanted to learn how to cook a meal other than rice and chicken, and I was just like, oh my God, so many red flags in that. Because here's the thing.
It's a Chinese state circus has less red flags.
Right, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I think he was actually being dead serious about this, and I'm like, how do you not know how to cook something else at 48 other than chicken and rice?
Now, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
If he was to ask you in person about that, would it sound like, Daniel, how do you make a meal that's not chicken and rice? Was it that person? Because that's that level of stupid.
It would, because we know that person mutually, it would totally be that person.
What do you mean? I mean, any meal.
I'm like, do you not know how to make a salad? Do you not know how to put the chicken into a salad? Do you not know how to cook up? Do you not know how to roast vegetables? As much as we've harped on this podcast about the easiest thing of just like roasting a vegetable in the oven, like, how do you not know how to make something other than chicken and rice? Like, I don't know.
Anything is easier than that.
Have you tried roasting salmon? That's my favorite. If I want to put in zero effort but still have an excellent meal, I roast some salmon.
Saying that after this, I need to get some chicken, some marinated when we're done with this podcast.
But you're marinating it. He was the type of individual that I think it's unseasoned and it comes out white. Like, literally, I could see this.
I guess I don't get how that is a thing. If he had said, I want to, and I don't get, there's so much about that there is so much access to this information. I'm just sort of like,
have you looked at Pinterest? Have you looked at like Food Network? Like, have you taken a cooking class? Like, I don't know at this point.
Do you mean you can't even cook pasta?
Risotto? Like, couscous? Which is the simplest thing to do in the world. Like, literally, you boil water, pour it in, take it off the heat. It's so simple. It's simpler than rice. Really. I'm sorry. It's just like, that is the level of dating here in DC.
Oh, for fuck's
as
sake.
I point to the map. This is the caliber of guy we have in DC at the moment.
That's so ridiculous.
It is depressing is what it is. I'm just like, and then people are like, and other apps are like, why aren't you dating? And I'm like, I'm in my hoe phase because it's not worth dating. Am I in my hoe phase? Absolutely not. But I'm just like, I would rather not date any of these people either.
I can't believe that. I'm struggling.
That I'm not in my hoe phase?
No, your hoe phase. I'm more struggling that this person just can't cook anything apart from rice and chicken. And the other thing is, can I always be honest, is rice is actually not easy to cook well. So the fact he's mastered rice, let's face it. Even we cheat with rice and do the do the pressure cooker. But to get decent rice, I'm like, I'll bet he has the bag rice.
I was about to say, I could see this person being like the 90-second bag rice, put it in the microwave. Like, honestly. Yeah, anyways. It's just, the streets are wild out there. The streets are savage.
They're fucking savage.
And I am not built for this. I'm at an age that I don't think I'm meant not to have some luxury in my life.
How do you put up with this shit? Sorry, that's
I don't put up with this shit.
I'm going to have to make a note because that's going to be one of the fucking videos for this week. Has got to be, I'm looking for a way to cook more than I want to cook more than rice and chicken.
Rice and chicken.
My week was...
Oh, your week was very interesting.
Yeah, well, I want to do flash and say we did have a nice Easter. I'll talk a bit more about the food in our food section, but we always sort of joke that it's the opening of the state opening of the roof deck.
Yes,
and actually, if we get a nice Easter Sundays are lovely. The weather's like kind of unmatched, so we really were kind of lucky. We got everyone up there. We had a really nice group of people, and we had a really nice evening. It started a bit later, which we'll explain in a second, but there
was delicious food.
It all came together. But no, we spent like the weekend. We sort of I did a little bit of gardening and some stuff. I was in a lot of podcasts and stuff. And then we kind of like and the hubs kind of we moved stuff and getting the house just a little bit readier. Though I still feel that we are 6-7 months, come up to almost, about 6 weeks into this shite. Well, yeah. And I'm there like, no, wait. Yeah, we're 2 months into it. Crap. And, we still haven't even sorted out the storage. We said we're going to get it sorted, but it's just he's working so hard to try and get it out. Yeah. But no, the shite of the week was that, and it was, and there's a lot of people, I don't know, many people have actually told this was that, last week that I passed out at a party, and that was fun. And then, Saturday, me and the hubs were, we say that we did loads of stuff around the house, and then prepared some dinner, and we decided to go out for a quick drink, and I took a nice gummy, and it was a bit stronger than I have a stronger gummy that I occasionally take, and it's a little bit, we're out of the lighter ones, and it was all good, and was enjoying just a really nice evening with him, and we just have a really pleasant time, and got home and was watching RuPaul. And things went really funny, and the gummies seemed to get worse, which was very weird. 3-4 hours into it, and And suddenly the sound started to go on the TV, and then the husband was waking me up and I was having a seizure, and that was pretty damn fucking scary. Yeah. It was gone midnight by that point, and we always eat late, and I don't know how we ended up eating late of an evening. We had nothing to do, but hey, it's still us. And when we say seizure, he apparently had asked me what I think of Sam Starr's routine, and I turned around and my lips had gone like white, and my eyes rolled back, and he said it was really quite scary, and I came out of it, and apologies for this detail, vomited all over myself. The amount of times I was asked over the night though if I'd pissed myself was really quite something. I did not, luckily,
but having a bodily evacuation of some sort is common.
Yeah, well, we got to so he had called an ambulance already, and they came in. They wanted to take me to the hospital, and he was like, no, we're going to drive you in because we're not paying for that shit. So we got into into Georgetown, and they were really lovely there. Very sexy doctors. The attending that night was very hunky, and then
I bet he knows how to cook more than rice and chicken.
And there was a neurologist there who was like little cubby berry guy, and was like, oh, hello. He was very sweet, but they were really good. The staff was really, really lovely. They did a couple of tests on me. I was there. But it was weird, like I say, lying back on the couch and, not really being able to move, and then kind of like phasing in and out of consciousness, and then the hub's driving me and trying to keep me awake. And it was just, there was a lot going on. We still don't know really what is occurring. I really wanted to kind of like talk, because at the moment we're transitioning our health insurance because of my redundancy, and it's scary at the moment. We were told we were trying to sign up to DC Health Link. We were told certain numbers. Then we went to finish it off on Monday after the incident, and then they were turning around and giving us numbers we couldn't afford. I'm on unemployment, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So we had all that. So we're still in. Luckily, we've got like an appointment set up with them to get that rectified. While at the same time, I went to a hospital that's different to my usual primary care. So they're trying to communicate. They then Georgetown were like, well, we want you to stay in on Sunday so that you can get your EEG.
Yeah, EEG.
Yeah, the next day. And they're like, well, do I need, because they're not, it's a Sunday. And I'm like, well, the hub's like, well, can he come back in the morning? Like, no, if he leaves and comes back, then he has to go on the wait list for months. And we're like, can we even fucking afford to pay, at the moment for me to stay in for like a whole day?
Yeah.
So luckily, I reached out to my primary care, and they got on it real quickly, because I'd called up about getting on the list, and they were like, yeah, no, it's not going to be till June and that sort of thing. And I'm like, well, it's just not quick enough. And they've managed to get me an appointment for tomorrow. So I'm hoping we should get it out, and we at least get a consultation from a neurologist set. But did all that, but we had to kind of get back, and Hubs called my parents, and I think he called you, but that, you because he spoke to you when you'd woken up.
Yes.
I was just at this point, and he's going, we need to cancel Easter, and I'm like, but the lamb's going to go off, and I've really baked the cake. So we somehow managed to pull together an Easter, but it's taken, even my head now is still a bit befuddled and everywhere.
He was a little bit funny about it. He's like, I think that we really need to cancel Easter, and I was just like, there's going to be hell to pay if we cancel Easter. I'm like, but you go right ahead and do that, sir. I'm like, I am not helping you make that decision.
No, I knew why. He kept an eye on me, and I've been trying to be good with the running all week. I didn't really. I'm keeping it light, but just overall, it's been a really, really like hellish week. And when your head is literally exploding. And you're being told to relax, but also every 5 minutes there's an email or a phone call to try and sort it out. And
it's hard.
And then even on top of that, because I got severance, it affects your unemployment for like a week. It's like, it's not too bad, but that's frozen my unemployment at the moment. Like, they're not even processing it. So I actually get a call from a really nice guy today, and he's like, hey, is this Max? I said, yeah. He goes, want to talk to you about, I said, you got severance? Like, yeah. Because of the way the organisation I work for did it, is it's not clear what's severance and what's paid time out. And they said, you're only eligible for the severance, not the your PTO. But because of the way that the organisation did it, it means everyone is now waiting. They have to get in contact with the organisation, so they're waiting for us. It's just like it's just a lot.
Headache.
But he said it looks like it's all set and good. He goes, "Don't worry." That was a relief just to know that it's all processing. So that's kind of where that is. So that is. That's where we are. So. We're already overrunning a little bit, so we're going to take a walk around Ina's garden.
Very quick walk.
And we'll have a sip of the drink, and I'm going to get what I wanted you to try out.
All right, so we're having a Maison Perrier Pina Fizz. Cheers.
Inspired by Pina Colada.
It's very summery.
Yeah, it's nice.
It doesn't quite feel like it has the, chalky teeth feel afterwards.
No. Is this a non-alcoholic or just an elevated... Oh, it's non-alcoholic.
It's non-alcoholic.
Not just an elevated fizz.
Yeah, just an elevated fizz. So it tastes, a little coconut, a little pineapple.
It's got a lovely flavour to it.
Yeah. It would be really good on the roof deck.
Yeah. I'm just going to go and try some baking out for me.
Ooh, cannot wait to try some of Anna's baking. We love when Anna bakes.
I lied.
Thank you. Oh, you cheeky bastard.
It's hard to find. They have a sign up for I've got sherbet.
Yes.
They have a sign up for it in Giant, but then underneath it, it's all like non-dairy dessert, which is just fake ice cream.
Right.
But then this was actually the only thing I could see that had sherbet. And this is, I believe, it's a bit hard actually. I think it's strawberry lemonade.
Oh, interesting. Well, cheers to that.
Cheers.
It has the texture I remember.
It's a harder. It's not as. It's definitely not as creamy.
Right.
It's like a more solid sorbet.
Yes.
It does taste like the Jersey Shore.
It totally does. Totally does. But this is a great base for punches, party punches. You put this in there to keep it cold without diluting it with ice.
It's good. Mm-hmm. Is it seen as cheaper, sort of the poor man's ice cream, or is it just more of a candy ice cream?
It's more of a candy ice cream, I think. It's one of these, it has its purpose and its place for certain dishes. You have to use this as opposed to ice cream. You wouldn't make, a Dr. Pepper or Coke float, which is a purple cow or something like that with this, but you would make a punch with this. So a 7-Up punch would have this, and then a juice would be added to it as well. Yeah.
It definitely has the texture of one of those ice creamy bar lollies things.
Right, but you would also, the amount that you gave is perfect. Because it's, a little bit, it can fit, in a little ramekin.
Yeah. We like the ramekins out.
Yeah, it's perfect for a palate cleanser at a party. In between courses, you would do this sometimes.
I don't know if we've had, I don't, because the husband likes, he likes a milkshake, so we don't, but he's I said, do not tell Daniel we've got this, because I love my husband, but he's the sort of, he'll open up, goes, oh my God, there's sherbet in here. I'm like,
right. It's the surprise is ruined.
No. Teeth.
I was about to say hair.
Teeth.
Oh. Yeah, this is sherbet. Well, welcome to the land of sherbet.
It definitely, yeah. I'm not actually against it.
Yeah, like I said, the flavors that I'm used to are lime and orange, and like I said, I would have those when I was sick. My dad would have some of that in the house because
So
it doesn't
would
have
it-
as much dairy.
So you could have more citrusy flavors because of the less dairy.
It's more citrusy flavors. There's less dairy. That way, there's less of it funking up your sinuses or anything like that.
Now, I do believe the lovely Dustin was saying that they did realise there was dairy, and it actually wasn't.
Yeah.
It still wasn't as good for you as they kind of
Yeah, I mean
said.
there is still some dairy in it because you've got to get it creamy. So I mean there has to be a dairy product for that, but it's not like a gelato. We'll put it that way.
So the question is it going out of style a little bit? And has anyone attempted elevating it at all, or?
So I'm actually going to counter with the flavor that you got as an elevation of it. Like, I think people are still experimenting with it. I think it's sort of this stable sleeper in the ice cream aisle, if that makes sense.
Definitely, when you look at it, got a different...
Yeah. It's definitely, different consistency all the way through.
Well, at least I can say... I still haven't tried Applejack cereal, but I've now officially tried American Sherbet before I turn 40.
You haven't had Applejack cereal?
No, we're not really much of it. Because especially now, the labelling of cereals, when they go, is it a sugar cereal? You got that mum at the school gate. Did they have a sugar cereal this morning? That might explain why they're misbehaving at school.
Right.
Well, anyway, Daniel, let's take a quick chat break, freshen our ears up, and then we can come back and we're going to do news and culture and just generally just chill today. Let's chill.
It's a chill day.
And we're back after a double palate cleanse, really, because we, freshened our ears and freshened our palates.
Oh, yes.
With some delicious sherbet.
Sherbet.
I got you some orange sherbet.
Well, strawberry lemonade, according to you.
Strawberry lemonade, but still just as delicious. So usually, actually, I was about to say what's culture for you, but usually now it's me doing news. So obviously we're all a bit about to sync, but no, this is where we're going to go straight into the gay news.
This is the portion of the podcast where we talk about things that are gay adjacent, or just a little bit camp.
All of the above. Let's have a look and see what's on the list today. So got some exciting Star Wars news. They're going to get a new series for Carlton Cuse and his son Nick, which is in the works. He worked on Lost.
Oh.
So no real details yet of what we're going to get. But last couple of offerings have been really great. Alkali sadly did not get a second season, which is a pity. But we've got Ahsoka season 2 coming up with the new cat, which should be a really, really... should be rather entertaining. And Andor season 2 I'll talk about a little bit time, but that's really good. I'm going to skip that one until the end. Heartstop has confirmed its ending, and there won't be a fourth season. They're going to end it with a movie that sort of deals with all the ramifications of the muscly one going to university, and I am curious to see how they're going to do this as a movie. I kind of feel that movies should in some ways be slightly independent, so I'm curious to see where they find that sort of thing. I guess it's going to be 90 minutes of pixie dream girls putting fairy lights up in tents. I get the importance of Heartstopper. I do love it, but it is for kids. It is written like it's a comic book still, and there's just a couple of times in it where I'm just like, this group of friends is so much hard work. They are so high energy. I'm like,
I can't keep up with this.
I was like, Isaac, I used to love him as one of the book until he started just always mentioning what section. I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm excited to see what they're going to do if the movie. Good for them. Let's do it. Some late-breaking news. Cynthia Erivo is returned to the world of Wicked.
Oh.
She's going to be narrating a new version of the original book.
Interesting.
So it's coming out soon. That should be exciting. If you think that's just a bit of a stunt cast, it's not. She really has a really beautiful speaking voice.
She has a gorgeous voice.
So that's a very good way of doing it. I'm sure that'll keep people going before For Good comes out.
I'm going to say, so she does so I use an app called Calm to help me go to sleep, and it's, meditation, sleep stories. Cynthia does a sleep story on there. Her voice is that relaxing. So
that's lovely.
This is me saying, no, this is not a stunt. It's like, you want Cynthia to narrate that story. Like,
well, that's excellent. Yeah, I'm excited to hear it too. I do like the book. I will not listen to it because I'm not a book on tape person. But hey, book on tape got show our age there. Talking of showing her age, Carly Rae Jepsen is joining Lena Dunham and they're confirmed for a musical adaptation of 10 Things I Hate About You.
Interesting.
Should be good. I mean, 10 Things I Hate About You is one of these movies that pretty much stands the test of time.
It's one of my favorite films. Like, still one of my favorite films.
I'm especially... The soundtrack for it is excellent. It was one of the iconic soundtracks of that time.
Oh, yeah.
The creep behaviour in it is firmly handled in a beautiful punch moment sort of way. So I do feel that actually... especially of the Shakespeare of it all, I think it's open to some good... There's a good pedigree there. Kylie Rae Jepsen's never quite got her flowers. I don't personally think, but I think she's excellent. And Lena Dunham, she's an interesting character. I think she's an excellent writer, and I think she will modernise it well.
Yes.
So very excited about that. Fine. And second to last, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10 has announced its cast with 18 returning queens, including one from season 17, the season that literally just ended last week.
Well, we know they didn't win.
And Ginger Minge, who I adore. Ginger, but there is a twist to this season.
Yes, I read about the twist.
Yes, so we'll explain the twist quickly. So All Stars 10, we didn't actually watch All Stars 9, I think we skipped that one.
I don't remember it.
Sometimes when they roll in together too quickly,
wait, was that Jinx's season?
No, All Stars 10, I forgot who, I think, I couldn't remember now who won it. Maybe it's the best time to watch it.
Yeah.
I think last year it rolled into, we just don't have the time sort of thing. You know, it's great, I will watch it, and then... So it completely revamps the competition's format with a giant twist separating the cast of queens that range from seasons 2 to 17 past season 1, or what they call it, the unheard of, the lost season. Bullshit.
Oh, the pork chop season.
Each of the new All-Stars 10 cast members will enter the competition in 3 groups of 6, with each individual group competing only with their own bracket across 3 episodes. At the end of the 3-episode installment, the top 3 queens with the highest number of points won across challenges will advance to the final round. So whether or not they're going to do 3, then 3, they haven't yet said that one.
Right.
So after that, the top queens will compete in a 2-episode round of further competition for a final lip-sync smackdown of the Gonna Grand final to determine the winner of the 200,000 prize and a spot in the Drag Race Hall of Fame. So it sounds like they're going to... It sounds like a condensed season, but with a lot of queens.
Yes. So essentially... You have 3 episodes where Team Orange, Purple, and I don't remember the other color compete individually, whittle that down, and then for 2 episodes, those that are left remaining duke it out, and then I think it's the top 3 are lip syncing.
I think it's a really great way to play with the format on it. My only vibe is that after that, it's informed 2 seasons ago Drag Race where they cut it down from hour episodes to 40 minutes to make way for the Real Friends of WeHo, Daniel's favourite programme.
Max's most favourite programme.
Oh, that programme. I couldn't help but kind of feel... I hope it's not going to feel very condensed.
Especially, if they do it wrong, it will.
Anyway, I'm excited. I want to watch this season. I love Ginger Minge. I do have a soft spot for her, and you know they are. I think they're paid to be on this one, aren't they?
I believe so.
I believe they get some level of
But I'm going to say this, which is what my reaction was to you whenever I saw it. It was just like, isn't this turn number 3 or 4 for Ginger Minge on All Stars? It's just like, honey,
I think it's 4th on Drag Race.
Yeah, honey, I'm like another season.
Yeah, because remember her first All-Star season was the one where they came back. Do you remember that one? They turned the mirror on and they all stood there and went,
Yeah.
And then the next one, I remember because the trailer says giving every queen a second chance, and it cuts her going, and sometimes a third.
Yeah.
But I like her. She's not going to win.
No. She's not. She will be entertaining. She will be... so she will be good competition.
Now they've also said they've introduced, because I think apparently last season there wasn't any eliminations either. Because I think the last season we watched was the all-winner season, which was excellent.
Yeah,
that was a really good. That was where Jinxie went through the roof.
So that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, we didn't watch the last one. Apparently that was no elimination, but this one. So are they going to eliminate each week? And then and then okay. I feel. I think I hate to say it. This is enough to keep me kind of going. I want to see how this is going to play out.
Because there's eliminations.
So, yeah, we shall see. So I want to talk quickly about Oscar voting because they've been, and I mentioned at the start now, there's some new rules. Mm-hmm. Now, I do joke about, the fact, oh my God, they haven't watched all these rules.
Right.
So I do know at some points you have to only be, there were rules regarding your ability to vote as Academy members on certain areas. You didn't have a broad access to it. So the Film Academy has released key details pertaining to 2026 Oscars, as well as updated guidance on the new casting, Oscars, artificial intelligence, and more. They're doing casting, I do stunts, AI. I get confused by what they're doing with that one. But anyway, in a major departure from the 97 years of tradition, the board has implemented what one might call the Diane Warren rule. That widely admired songwriter has received 16 Best Original Song Oscar nominations from her peers in the music branch, but has never won, in part because the final ballot is sent to the full membership has never listed the names of the individuals who are nominated, aside from actors. Alongside their nominated project. Moving forward, though, all designated nominees in all categories will now be listed on the final ballot. That still feels that allows for favouritism. But hey,
it does, yeah.
Now, the other big rule change now is they have to obviously watch all these movies, or say they've watched them all, which I do agree. And I think now with the rise of digital that they can keep better track of it. This final one, though, I think is very interesting. I will try and explain it as best as possible because I know Daniel has some exciting news as well. At a time of widespread crisis around the world, and this is from the Hollywood Reporter, by the way, as I'm clearly reading someone else's words.
Yes.
At a time of widespread crisis around the world, the Academy is taking steps to ensure that the work of filmmakers with refugee or asylum status are able to be submitted for the Best International Feature Oscar by the country to which they have fled. Until now, a filmmaker had to be a resident of a country for that country to be able to submit his or her work. The most recent example last season being Germany submitting The Caesar Sacred Fig, a film made by Iranian-born German resident Mohammed Rasulov. Henceforth, the submitting country must confirm the creative control of the film is largely in the hands of the citizens, residents, or individuals with refugee or asylum status in the submitting country. So I think it's recognising asylum as a legitimate form of residency. Very exciting, especially if you've ever watched, especially the short films. Asylum stories play a very, very big role in these films, and it's really great. And I think now it's sad that they have to recognise this level of it, but it does encourage. There's a lot of interest in movies that are Oscar nominated. There's a bigger audience than they would just being in the festival circuit. This is really fantastic news. So I'm kind of glad to see some really legitimate cultural changes made, not just ways to sort of benefit a couple of actors. But anyway, Daniel, what was news for you?
News for me this week. So listeners, I lied to you last week. I lied so hard last week because we are actually resurrecting a portion of the podcast called Firewatch 2025.
It's so warm again.
3.0. Literally, there was no downtime on this one. So sorry. It was announced this week that Billy McFarlane, who originated the Fire Festival, has indeed canceled the Fire Festival in Mexico, and that it has, in his words, evolved to something beyond him. It is a movement. It is a beckoning. It is a calling. It is beyond one person.
It's bullshit. I didn't say that.
Yeah. He has apparently sold the rights to Fire Festival's name and its logo and everything else associated with it. And the rumor is it is going to become a streaming platform of some sort. So listeners, we will be watching to see how Fire Festival does indeed evolve. If it evolves.
It'll be a YouTube channel at best.
Yeah. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, the poor sucker who buys it.
I think someone has bought it knowing no one buys this.
Yeah.
I think basically he's realised he's kind of got nowhere to go with it. Someone said, I'll buy it off you. I'll do something with it.
Yeah.
And I think they've crunched the numbers, done the math. They'll do something with it, and then they'll walk away.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll be a tax write-off. All right, but we do have some good news.
Yay, I love good news.
Some good relationship news, not like how we started this episode. So Kristen Stewart and Dylan Mayer have wed over this past weekend. The couple were engaged in 2021 after they became official in 2019. It was a very intimate home setting in LA. The couple has remained largely private, with very limited comments from Kristen Stewart over the past couple of years and interviews scattered here and there. So we wish them well.
Lovely. Congratulations.
In more matrimony news, Joe Exotic, a.k.a. the Tiger King, has announced that he has been married, yet again, for the third time. If you want to feel really good about yourself, like I do after reading this story, the 62-year-old reality TV star is currently serving a 21-year prison sentence for a murder-for-hire plot against that bitch, Carol Baskin. He has married, for the third time, to a 33-year-old fellow prisoner, George Maldonado. They're currently serving time in Federal Medical Center in Texas for crimes. So,
well, at least it's in prison, to that extent, I guess.
But I have the horrible Hinge guys, and he finds someone in prison. There's no justice in this world.
I've seen a photo. That guy's his type, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's totally his
Is
type.
this the second person he's married in prison, or did he just divorce the second husband while he was in prison?
He divorced the second husband while he was in prison.
Yeah.
So this is the first husband to marry that he's married.
I don't think he'll be his last. I think he'll get. I guarantee when this ends, there'll be another husband.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Where would the drama be if there wasn't another husband at some point?
Mm-hmm.
All right. In final news, that's not Level. Sorry. Skip that. Cut that out.
Oh.
Lowell Holder's Lavender Man is set to make a select theater debut next week on May 2nd. It's going to tell the story of a stage manager named Taffeta who has daydreams about Abraham Lincoln, and specifically Abraham Lincoln's salacious gay love affairs. This is based off of Holder's 2022 play of the same name, and it comes on the heels of a documentary that has explored the topic of Abraham Lincoln and his homosexuality recently. So, listeners, what I am saying is, if you have the opportunity to go see this, go see some queer cinema.
Nice. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it should be opening here in D.C. I think the cities were D.C., New York, L.A., Chicago, and I think 2 other locations.
Did you see what theatre it's going on? Did I miss that? Sorry.
I don't recall which theaters.
But it's not with a theatre, because we have a lot of theatres that produce their own productions.
No. It will be showing on a screen somewhere.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
so,
cool.
That's
it.
Oh.
Well, then, Daniel, in a step from the norm, then, let's jump straight into. So, what has been gay culture for you this week, then, Daniel?
Gay culture for me this week. Food of the week was your fantastic carrot cake.
Yum. It was good.
Your potatoes and your lamb, spot on. But that carrot cake made me sing.
Yay.
Made me happy. I also made something this week. I had a ginger garlic beef stir fry that was just chef's kiss. Absolutely loved it. My drink of the week is Just Tea Hibiscus. It has the right punch.
Nice.
I know that you said that you want to have something that has a good punch. Go get some Just Tea. Songs of the week. A little bit of a throwback here and there. So Lust for Life by Iggy Pop.
Oh, I like that one.
I love that one. It was one of those I need to dance sort of mode. It came on. It was perfect. Strange by Celeste. And my new song of the week is Ankles by Lucy Dacus. Very good song. Musical of the week, Mame, because I wanted a little bit of nostalgia in my life. Television of the week. Oh, so I almost watched A Simple Favor this week.
Oh, yes.
And it happens to be streaming on Prime. Well, as soon as I got onto Prime to stream it, I got this little advertisement about there's a new release from BritBox.
What one is it?
Towards Zero, the new Agatha Christie with Matthew Rhys and Angelica Houston. Very good.
Yeah, they're pushing it a lot on the British, on the radio apps.
It was really good and really well done.
Yeah.
There was a lot of tension in there, which remembering the mystery, I was like, there shouldn't have been this much tension, but there was. And it was very good. I highly recommend it. But yes, so I didn't watch the film that I was going to watch. I watched that instead.
We'll get to, even if we get onto we'll get onto A Simple Favor.
Yep. And that was sort of it for me this week because I was shocked that I had to do notes last night. So there would have been more culture had that not been the case.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Well, my food of the week was, so the Easter, we managed to put it together. The lamb came out nice. We did 2 types of potatoes because of, I cooked something of the lamb. Actually, the one thing I do want to say is that we did the lamb again there wasn't much left over, which is always really nice to have. But we did, so it wasn't enough for curry, but we did the lamb the next night and actually reheated really nicely.
Good.
For drink, I tried me a bit of a sweet iced tea.
And that's divine.
So I did it with 50% black tea and 50% the gin and tonic tea. Bit of sugar. I might try and lessen the sugar, get a bit of bite in it, but it was a good start, and I'm really pleased with how that's come out.
You made it for me on Sunday, and I was like, I was going to gobble it up.
It was good. I'm looking at tea. I know this is the thing is that we're looking at these wine teas, which just or tea wine. Yeah, tea wine, isn't it? Yeah, they're using tea as a basis for a non-alcoholic wine. It's not the same. You have to go de-alcoholized, and that's kind of how it is. I mean, saying that though, I think that for the price point, yes, I think if you were to say I want to put this on the table and people to feel like they're a little bit more adult, I do agree with that. But I think tea's tea.
Yeah.
Television we've only done 2 of the 3 episodes. They're doing 3 episodes a week, so we've done 2 of the first 2. Excellent. Jesus, we should probably watch the first season, but it's still excellent. It's still like we're catching up. And Genevieve O'Reilly, who is playing Mon Mothma, she just wafts into every scene. She's one of the leaders of the rebellion who is in Return of the Jedi for a couple of minutes, and they fleshed her out. And she's so, I always say Genevieve is so funny because she plays her in Revenge of the Sith in deleted scenes. And they cut the scenes to show the formation of the rebellion. And then so you can see them. I think they're on Disney Plus, have the deleted scenes, but then they actually then brought her back for Rogue One, and then they brought her back for this. So she's sort of have this amazing career as a character that never ever made it into the final film. You can literally see her in the background of when Anakin and Obi-Wan arrive back on Coruscant after that. You can literally just see her, and I'm like, ooh, that's really weird. Drag Race finale was excellent. It did get slightly spoilt for me, even though maybe having an episode during it, but no, the spoiler alert. You were skipped yet? It was God, I have a spoiler alert. I can't even fucking remember her name. Wow.
You're spoiling it for no one. I sort of love that.
Well, anyway, the winner was excellent.
Winner made such a mark on Max.
It was. I will be honest. It was a really good season. There was a couple of queens. I genuinely. There was one queen that got a bit of a villain in it, and I think they were a bit. I think they thought they were being clever doing what they did, and they just didn't. They were like, "What the fuck are you even trying?" But from the first episode, me and the Hubs were like, "This is going to be a good season," and the characters were there. The cast was excellent. The final 4 was definitely split down the middle. We would have been okay with all of them winning. We were rooting for 2. One of them did win. The other one, Sam Starr, didn't even get into the final lip sync, which I was quite surprised about personally. But the one who did, Jules Sparkles, I completely forgotten this fucking one. She was good, but I still think Sam Starr was just this beautiful. I don't even like Twinkie guys. It's so cute, so southern, little pageant queen, but just full of sass and humour, and had this amazing mum who they brought on. And I don't know, he's going to go far. He's got a bit of. I think what everyone seemed to like about Sam was that he was old school, but very young, but had this real old respect, yes sir, yes ma'am sort of thing. And I think that's going to do him really well, and I think we'll see a lot more of her.
So with the link to being old school, are we thinking like Lavoie old school? Or?
Yeah, there was definitely like a Lavoie element. Not, I wouldn't say the performance-wise. Lavoie has this cabaret, working man's club vibe. But I definitely think there's like this old energy in a young queen. And I think this is what is doing really well at the moment, because I think there is a lot of these young queens that don't know how to handle this. So, but no, I'm excited. On Your Nerve, that's who won.
Max finally got it.
But no, then, so movies this week I saw Sinners, excellent. I don't want to spoil any. You need to go in. It is what it says it is, but it's a beautiful. It explores juke joints and the culture around that, but with obviously a supernatural flair. But I highly recommend. I was being recommended it by a couple of people, and I saw it and was just completely blown away. There's a scene in the middle. Don't want to ruin a surprise, but it's really well done. So highly recommend.
Is it one of these that you think you need to see it on the big screen, or could you see it at home?
You could see it on a small screen.
Okay.
I definitely think, but the big screen is going to have an element to it. It's very violent though towards the end, but it's a good. I did like it, and the cast is excellent.
Okay, well, it might be a home one.
Podcast completed it. I went on to discuss the amateur film. We had a really good chat. They got really lovely people on there. So, Andy, I believe your name is. So my head, I said, okay, the head is flighting everywhere. But we had a really nice.
Fuzzy wuzzy.
That's it. So but we got on really well. I had a really good chat about it. So that was a really great. So check that one out. I think it's on YouTube. And then finally, live theatre. So we went to a gala last night for the Atlas Theatre, which is down on Haight Street in DC. Hubs was doing some work, so we went along with him. Lovely Christian was there with his partner, so we kind of all met up. They had two Broadway stars on who had met both as understudies for the leads in Wicked. So they were Christian Dwyer and Rachel Potter. Absolutely fantastic. Both did a couple of songs each. Like kind of did bits, and they kind of then they did a video, some speeches, then they came back out again, video, speech. It's a really good balance of it. You got to sit through some stuff. Yeah. But really well done, and they came out at the end and did For Good, and then Defying Gravity. But they did stuff from like Waitress, The Addams Family, stuff they'd worked on.
A good variety there.
Yeah, really. And the Hubs did a fantastic job interpreting it, because he knew the songs as well, and it just was great. So really, really great evening.
Sounds like you had a wonderful time.
You very much enjoyed it. So, Daniel, I think we're reaching the hour. Do you think we should head on to the end of the episode?
I think we should.
We'll be back next week for more culture. I just want health insurance. That's my culture.
Yeah.
Not having to work to get better. Daniel, do you have a gagged and gooped?
No, I don't have a gagged and gooped.
So this gagged and gooped was very interesting for me. On yesterday, Wednesday, 23rd of April, was St. George's Day in England. That's our patron saint. Yes. It has been that since 1350, apparently, when King Edward III made George the patron of England, because he embodied the characteristics he wanted to project to the outside world. Except so yesterday wasn't not St. George's Day, and it's had people up in arms. Do you want to know why it wasn't St. George's Day yesterday?
Why wasn't it St. George's Day yet?
It has something to do with what we did over the weekend.
Easter.
So yes, so All Saints Day, any Saints Day that falls between Palm Sunday and the second Sunday of Easter is automatically transferred to the Monday. So apparently the second Sunday of Easter is going to be the 27th, so 28th will be St. George's Day.
Oh.
Fine. I actually buzzed your ex about it and said, what do you think? He goes, I love all this. This is what it is.
Yeah.
British don't.
Of course you don't.
But apparently, and let's face it, there is just a lot of people now complaining, and some people going, I shouldn't have the church telling me when I can celebrate my country. And it's like, it's a saint's day.
Right. I feel like the church is already involved there. It's a saint.
Yes. So, yes, I do. It's not about them telling us that we can't celebrate our country, and even though there's issues about that because of how we did destroy the world. But no, the issue... Minor details. But no, it is just about the fact that saints cannot be done during the resurrection of Christ. This shit happens. So I thought
get in line, Judy.
It just made me laugh that everyone's complaining about it, and the comment section under this article were brilliant because people were going blah blah blah. I shouldn't be told what to do. Blah blah blah. And then someone else going, you don't get it, do you, Deirdre? You know, it's like,
Get it together.
So, Daniel, do you have a word for us?
I do have a word for us this week. So the word for the week is marked. Incredibly exhausted.
I feel marked. Definitely.
I feel marked.
Do you have a petticoat lane?
I do have a petticoat lane. So today was Take Your Children to Work Day. And,
Oh, dear.
And we were very happy that the children were in the workplace. We can see that the children yearn for the mines and they yearn for labor. But for the love of God, please do not parade them through cubicle land whenever people who don't have kids are trying to work. We made a conscious decision not to have kids or to leave the kids in school. Please respect that boundary that we have for us. Amen.
Amen. My one's just going to be get the healthcare system over here sorted because I really did not need that shit this week.
That's not going to happen anytime soon.
I know. Well, on that note, Daniel, do you think we covered everything?
My dear, we might have set the agenda. No, we didn't.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This has been a Bearded Bitch production recorded in a Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
You've been listening to The Bitches with Beards. I've been Daniel.
And I'm Max. A big thanks to you all for tuning in and giving us a listen. Don't forget to rate, subscribe and review the following on Twitter, X and TikTok, where you can find us at Bitches with Beards.
Please remember that only a mother could love our views and opinions, and they reflect us and no one else.
We'll hear you next week unless we're cancelled. Cheers.